got a decent. We got a good lineup actually. Good lineup. Did you send me that one?
It's in the Mace Lives.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing a Mace one in the slideshow of images that you sent me.
No, I'm sending it now.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I just sent it. I
know you just sent it, but you could have sent it earlier. Okay, save
I
it.
know.
Dad.
Oh, it's 7/22 or 7/20 is the day that that one comes out.
Okay, I added it, so if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's your fault for not sending it to me before the show started.
Yes, correct.
Don't blame me.
I'll take the blame.
Ain't my fault.
Take the blame. I'll take the blame. Yeah, I've been trying to like play around with the blending thing on what do you call that one Photoshop? But I switched up my brushes and I have no idea what I did wrong, and so now I can't go back to what I was doing, and every time I adjust it I just make it look different. It's super frustrating.
I need to do some messing around with Photoshop. I've got a lot of footage of Final Fantasy VII that I'm editing, and I need a thumbnail to go with them.
I gotta say, one of the school district that I work for, we're in the same general vicinity of one of Adobe's major hubs, and so they hooked up with Adobe, and now anyone who has a district email, like teacher, student, can get the full access to Adobe 100% free.
Groovy.
It is awesome. It is the coolest thing.
That's
Very
awesome.
groovy.
Army be like, sign me up. I'm moving over there.
Yeah. I tell my students, I'm like, if you guys aren't taking the opportunity to do this, you are wasting your time.
I was a product of the early YouTube generation.
Yeah.
The middle schoolers and the high schoolers who watched your Freds and your Ryan Higas and all of those people. And of course, everyone was like, "Oh, I want to do YouTube videos now."
Yeah.
But so I started learning. I started on Windows Movie Maker. I switched to
I still use Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, you still use Movie Maker. I do a lot more stuff in my editing than you do, Neil. You
do what you know. What do I always say? You do what you know. And I know Windows Movie Maker because I've been using Windows Movie Maker since 2008. So that's why I use it. I'm a dab hand at Windows Movie Maker.
I mean, I know how to work Movie Maker. It's just...
I do know how to work Audacity now, so my audio editing is a lot better than it used to be.
Oh, I still like to use Audacity, but because I've invested in the mixer and everything, I have my audio is much more controlled before I do editing. So
see, that's cool. Like I went to Audacity, but I have struggled with it. So
well, I have a very small kit of things I do.
Yeah, no, that's it. I use a very small kit of things as well, as far as I'm concerned. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the back of Going Nerdy's head.
a beautiful sight.
It is geeking out with Going Nerdy. But it's geeking out with Going Nerdy with a little twist. Paul needs to save his throat. He's got a bad, he's losing his voice. He needs to save it for Fridays because Fridays is more important. Sorry, nerdy, but the
No, you're
escape
good.
pod,
I get it.
the escape pod cast, takes priority over everything.
Priorities.
Everything takes priority. So, because Paul is saving his voice, I have a new partner in crime. You would have seen us together, but it's this guy here, Flair, Gaming Embers. So, my new partner in crime on our new show. So he's standing in for Paul this evening. I know it's Thursday and not Tuesday, and normally we do Tuesday. But Thaddeus decided to go up a mountain, and there's no Wi-Fi up a mountain. So
There's not.
Yeah,
There's
unfortunately,
not. So hold on. So here's the thing. We went camping. My wife kidnapped me, and she's like, "Hey, we're going camping." Now, I've been domesticated, and I don't like the outdoors anymore. I prefer all things indoors, and but like, I went because I love my wife, and she puts up with all of my crap, and I can help. I could do stuff that she likes to. It's a relationship, right? But so we go up the mountain. It is freezing cold, but we're on these hikes. Like where we are camping, we get no Wi-Fi, like none at all. But like we go further up the mountain, and like I pull my phone out to see what time it is, and all of a sudden I have like, well, not Wi-Fi, but I have service, and I'm like, ooh, I've got 4G here. So I was in the back of the line hiking, and she got really mad at me. But I was in the back of the line hiking, and I was doing some things, playing a game that shall not be named.
Don't you do it.
I won't do it.
But
I was playing a game, and I was helping out a group of guys that I have organized with, which I feel like I can say, right?
To do battles of an unspecified variety.
Yeah. And so like I had done those. I had helped that group of guys, that specific group of guys that I had been playing with. And before I left, I did everything that I possibly could. And then like I'm at like half the mountain, and like I'm playing, and like no one's paying attention. And then my youngest is like, "Hey, I want to sit on Daddy's shoulders." And so I put her up. And what is the first thing she do? She's like, "Daddy's playing that game." And I'm like, "You narc."
It's like you got knocked on by your daughter.
I was like, "Come on." And then, but how can I stay mad at such an adorable face? I mean, she's got my personality. She looks like her mom. I mean, it's a win-win combination.
It's either a win-win combination or a recipe for disaster.
It is both. It is absolutely both.
So what have you been up to then, Flair, while Thaddeus was playing with a group of men up a mountain? You said it, not me.
Mountain men.
I don't know how to respond after that part, Neil. But so I have been doing a bunch of stuff. I had a couple of packages come in today with equipment and whatnot. The girlfriend's dad, his laptop bit the dust, so I'm in disaster recovery mode for them. So today I had a cable come in to connect the hard drive to a USB. Had some camera equipment come in. Had to get a little tripod, an HDMI cable, and a dummy battery for my DSLR to try and connect it to my capture card. Start messing with that and see how that goes. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done on it, but pretty happy with that. Other than that, playing a game that we'll be talking about when we actually start nerding out. And that's pretty much been about it. And also our show. We're not going to talk about it because it's of that game that we're not going to talk about.
Yes, that game, and that game does not get mentioned. I am sick and tired of being entrapped by my co-hosts into talking about that game and then having to send myself to the goddamn naughty corner. It's not going to happen tonight. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen tonight.
It'll happen.
It's gonna
No, it
happen.
won't.
You're gonna say it.
No,
You're gonna
I'm
say
not.
it.
I'm
And
not
you're
gonna
gonna
say
regret
it. And
every
if you
second of it.
make me say it, I will drag you kicking and screaming to the naughty corner with me. It ain't gonna happen.
Awesome.
But yes, so we've got a nice big fun pack tonight. We've got loads to talk about. Nerdy's got his thing, Flair's got his thing, I've got my thing. So we've each got a thing to talk about, and then obviously we will have our Dick of the Week nominations at the end of the show.
So what you're saying, Nev, is we will present our various things, and at the end, have a Dick of the Week contest.
Yeah. No. We will nominate our Dicks of the Week.
Yes.
The audience and the viewers, they get to decide who wins Dick of the Week. We don't get to decide who wins Dick of the Week. They do.
That's true. So we are, the way that it's decided is whoever has the largest size of votes.
Mm-hmm.
The votes count, the largest sized vote count.
That's customary for a vote. The person with the most votes.
The biggest is always the winner.
Yes. You're trying really, really hard to come out with an innuendo, and it's just not working for you right now.
What?
Yeah, he's trying really hard. He's trying
really hard. I'm not trying really hard. I'm just succeeding very obviously.
Trying really hard. Okay, well, we're gonna go to a break, and then we'll switch to our scene, and we'll start giving you some slideshows. So we'll be right back.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Are you a member of Team Paul or Team Neil? Maybe you prefer story time with the llama, or dabble in the buttery side of the force with Biscuit Weasel. Or maybe you like the Escape Pod talents from Down Under like Heinzie and Scotty. No matter who you support, you can get one of my designs from the Escape Podcast merch store. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on the merch link, and it will take you to the TeePublic site where you can support me, Mrs. Anthony, also known as Critty K. Also be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast's Discord server weekly to vote for my latest shirts in the Design Derby on Woot. Links for both of these are down below. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod cast.
And welcome back. This is where we do our discussions and our slideshows, and you see just how much effort we've put into, what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to put up the usual placeholder. So there's the placeholder for today, which is, your ad goes here. I mean, it doesn't really go there, but, it's as good a placeholder as any at the moment. So who wants to go first? Who wants to go first today? Do you want to go first, Nerdy, or do you want to go first, Flair?
It don't matter to me.
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Okay? Ready? Everybody on screen.
Wait, okay. How do we do the lizards and the Spock? Is it?
Huh? Lizard.
Okay.
Lizard.
Okay. I know the Spock. How's the lizard? Lizard. And then how do they beat again? I know rock paper scissors, but I've not had to do rock paper scissors lizard Spock in a while.
Let's just do rock paper scissors.
Rock paper scissors.
Okay.
I think Thaddeus is going to catch up eventually in terms of upstream. So
I don't know if he can hear us. Can you hear us, Thaddeus? He seems almost oblivious, doesn't he?
Just a little bit.
Let's talk about him. His back.
He's holding a finger. was gonna say if we
I don't know
need to, I
if
can
he's
start.
deliberate. I don't know if his screen is frozen or if he's frozen in place as a wind up.
I can
You know
start
what?
if we want to.
We're just gonna start without him. I can't tell what he's doing, so yeah, we'll just get cracked on. So we'll do yours, mate. We'll do yours
Yeah,
first.
let's do mine.
Okay.
All right.
So
Oh,
yeah, and he's gone. He'll be back.
Yep. All right. So I have been finally catching up to playing a couple of games that I have not had the chance to. I get them when they come out, but I just don't play them. And so this one, this time around, is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was not. I don't even know how old I would have been when the original Final Fantasy VII actually had come out, but I grew up on Final Fantasy games. They are my bread and butter. Final Fantasy 15 was one of my favorite games because it's the one that I have the most progress in. In terms of other games, Final Fantasy 3, not the US 6 release, but the actual Final Fantasy 3, is one of my favorite handheld games. But I always had a soft spot for Final Fantasy 7. I finally got around to playing it on an emulation on my computer, and oh my gosh, like, even though the graphics on it suck terribly for compared to 2020 nowadays, it's just amazing. It's a piece of history that defined a generation. And so
it's not about the
Enix-
graphics when it's RPGs. It's about
No.
the RPG, you know?
Absolutely. So they finally got it. They've been teasing a remake for years and years and years because this was a game changer for the Final Fantasy genre. Everything going forward past this was had a higher tier they had to hit. And they finally got around to releasing it just this year. And I finally got around to starting to play it this week. And let me tell you, oh my gosh, it is amazing. It is so beautiful. Oh, there is so much in this game. And this is only the first part. They're doing a multi-part release of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And this is the Midgar chapter. So probably about
how many hours of gameplay are we talking here? 30, 40, 60?
I think what people have said it's about 40 to 50 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've done is, like I said, they're doing a multi-part release of the game, of the whole story. This first part is everything that happens within Midgar, which is the first major location in Final Fantasy VII. And instead of a shorter, 20, 25 hour game, which is probably about the amount of time that most people spent in Midgar in the original remake, the original release of the game, they've added in all these extra side quests and little bits of story info that kind of flesh out the world and the characters that you play as.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives so much value to what you're doing in the game. And love it. Love it.
Since you're such a Final Fantasy aficionado, I have a question for you. Okay, Where does the movie Final Fantasy fall into the Final Fantasy storyline? Because I never understood that. You see, I only
talking about Final Fantasy Spirits or whatever it was.
Whatever the movie, yeah, the one with Alec Baldwin in it.
I don't even
and James
remember.
Woods. I think Alec Baldwin and James Woods did voices in it, but
I don't remember if I watched that because I don't think I have. There's only so many Final Fantasy theatrical releases or whatever movies that they did. The only one that I really watched and actually really enjoyed was also a part of the Final Fantasy VII universe, which was Advent Children, which was set 3 or 4
I think that was
years.
it. I think that's what it. I think it was Final Fantasy Adventure. I'm sure
Children?
it was.
That was a full CGI movie.
It was a full. It was a full because it was kind of, it was a bit of a pioneer regarding full CGI movies. It was the first real, high quality full CGI movie. Because I remember watching it and being blown away by how awesome the CGI was. It's not like it's not like a Transformers movie where you have absolutely no idea. It's boom 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 boom. It's just disaster porn. That's what There's loads of CGI in it, but you don't you're not supposed to know or understand what it is.
Mhm.
It's like it's a robot, then it's a car, and we'll just do some CGI moving bits between it being
Mhm.
a robot and a car. And I'm like, that's not good CGI. I don't understand or see what's happening. You've just put a bunch of moving parts in CGI on the screen, so I don't think that that's a particularly good CGI.
Mhm.
Just like the overuse of CGI in episodes 1, 2, and 3. But that Final Fantasy movie was really, really good. The detail in the hair, the skin, the eyes, it was brilliant. And I really, really thought it was good. I just never quite understood where the movie fell into the Final Fantasy storyline because I'd only ever played Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on the Nintendo.
So when you talk about the Final Fantasy series as a whole, I want to say there's only maybe a few games that relate to each other in any way. Final Fantasy VII was the beginning of a whole set of games that they did, spin-off games. So I'm trying to think. There was Crisis Core.
So when did this game that you're talking about at the moment is a remake of an original movie from what year? Sorry,
it's a
an
remake
original
of
game
the
from what
original
year?
Final Fantasy VII, which was released in release date. I need to find it. It was originally released in 97.
Right. Oh,
January
God.
31st, 97.
Were you even alive then?
I wasn't even 1 year old.
No, you weren't even one.
I
then.
was a very little bib whenever it first came out.
In 1997, in 1997 I was playing. Yeah, no, in 1997 I was in the army. I was in Cyprus. I was playing Warcraft 2, Age of Empires, and StarCraft. Those were my games. Those were the good old days.
So this is a remake of the 97 release of Final Fantasy VII, which was originally on the PS2. It was huge for what it was because it had 3 discs on it. And each disc was a major section of the game.
PS2, I thought it was a PS1 game. I remember.
It might have been PS1 or PS2.
I was about to say, I distinctly remember playing a Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation 1 when I was in Northern Ireland. When I was in Northern Ireland in 2000. Yeah, when I was in Northern Ireland in 2001.
Nev, what were you doing in Northern Ireland?
If I told you, I'd have to shoot you.
Oh,
that's
wow.
what I'm afraid
seriously,
of.
Seriously, I'm not allowed to talk about what I did when I was in Northern Ireland.
Okay, good. Don't tell us. I enjoy my life.
Hey, just give everyone a quick warning. When I was in Northern Ireland, because of the nature of my job in Northern Ireland, if I ever write memoirs, I'm not allowed to publish them until they have been looked over by a spook at MI6 to make sure that anything that's in my memoirs from that period of my life when I was in Northern Ireland is not in it.
Does it have to
do? What are you doing?
Does it have to do with Rendlesham Air Force Base?
I literally cannot tell you, but Rendlesham
I don't
Air
think
Force
that's in
Base
Northern
isn't
Ireland,
in
though.
Northern Ireland.
I think that's in London, but I'm not entirely.
I mean, when I hear Northern Ireland, I think of just issues with potato farmers or something like that.
That's a few centuries ago. That's several centuries ago.
Just a few centuries. Anyways, back to the 7 remake.
Yes.
So the big thing that they did with Final Fantasy VII Remake was they really fleshed out a lot of the initial characters. At the first opening segment, the sequence that, if anyone knows Final Fantasy VII, it's the Mako Reactor 1 battle that you do. You go into this reactor area, you fight a bunch of guards and go through, you plant a bomb, and then you have to escape as the facility is crumbling in. They give a lot more fleshed out character to a few of the other members of your little party that you're part of. They're not party members, but they're supporting cast to you. And you get to do a whole lot more with them after the fact. You maybe talk to them a few times in Final Fantasy VII, but you have a bunch of side quests and you're doing you're interacting with them. One of them, Jessie, who was really had no part in Final Fantasy VII besides being a character. She straight up just flirts with you all the time.
Is she hot?
In her segments? I mean, it's up to your discretion whether or not you think she's hot or not. But
Is
Yes.
she Jessica Rabbit hot?
nah,
No one's Jessica Rabbit.
Well, then I don't. If she's not Jessica Rabbit hot, then I don't care, because Jessica Rabbit is the hottest animated female in the entire universe.
I'm gonna disagree with that wholeheartedly. Jessica Rabbit.
No, it's Jessica Rabbit. She's the hottest animated chick in the universe.
No.
Come on, name me one
100%
chick hotter
disagree.
than Jessica Rabbit.
Straight cartoons.
Oh, actually, no. Oh God, no. Wardy's come up with that is. I can't fault that answer. Betty Rubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Rubble.
Betty.
the
Boop,
goth girl
but-
from Final Fantasy X,
Betty-
Dicky
Betty
Darkside
Rubble.
says. I'm trying to remember who that is. That's one
Although
that I have not.
if I
played as
was
much.
with Betty, I like Betty, but if I was with Betty, I'd be thinking about Wilma.
On a side note, I've heard a conspiracy theory that the Flintstones don't actually take place in the Stone Age. They take place in a future version of of Earth, where the what do you call it? Dinosaurs have come back, so Jurassic Park, but we've tamed them, but we've also like nuked the
Domesticated
self.
them, you
So
mean?
we've
Domesticated them.
We've we've tamed them, domesticated them, whatever. Clearly, we've also taught them how to speak English, because that's in Flintstones as well. But it's after the kind of a fallout of sorts, right? And the Jetsons are the upper class that kind of live in a different environment, right? Because there's actually an episode of cartoon that shows the Jetsons and the Flintstones like interconnecting.
They
like,
had a
working
crossover
together.
episode before
Yeah.
crossover episodes were a thing.
Yeah, and more of them should be a thing.
I mean,
Still,
Thaddeus,
not still.
I
Still
say
not
this
as,
every time
still
you
not
start
as good.
talking, Thad. It seems like you every conspiracy theory that you have is just like you just went crazy right before you got started. And like
It's right.
Oh,
The greatest ever crossover. The top two greatest ever animated crossovers are the Simpsons Family Guy fight between
Okay,
and the He-Man Shira Christmas special crossover.
so good. I watched that with
I
my
remember
kids.
watching those as a kid and thinking my mind was blown. I was like, I did not know that two cartoons could like cross over, because I loved Shira and I loved He-Man, and then they did a Christmas special and I'm like, what is this magical thing I'm watching? It's like the greatest thing ever as a kid, watching those two cartoons cross over.
yes, Thaddeus.
Okay, speaking of Shira, there is a Netflix version of Shira, which no, hold on.
No, I
Stop
will send
it.
you to the
Nev,
naughty corner. It is
Nev.
not Shira.
No, I get that. I get
It's
that.
not Shira.
It's interesting. It is an interesting version. If you give it a chance and
No.
you let go of the social politics that are presented, it's actually a pretty fun story.
It's a 12-year-old boy. They drew
Valid.
Shira as a 12-year-old boy.
Valid, but still interesting. However, so here was my thing. So I've been watching with my kids off and on. My daughters love it, but the real thing that I love about this is, one, this whole time that I've been watching this Shira, they have not made one mention of He-Man. That is because Silent Bob,
Kevin Smith is doing.
Kevin
Smith's
Smith
doing
is
He-Man.
taking is redoing, and I don't know if it's going to be on Netflix.
It's going to be on Netflix. Yeah.
Is it Netflix? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Or are they redoing He-Man?
They're redoing He-Man.
He-Man
Ooh.
in the true form that the 1970s He-Man was. And
80s.
80s? Was it 80s? I thought it was late
early
70s.
80s. Yeah, I
Okay.
reckon. I had the figures. I had the He-Man figures.
Okay. I just
Ram
remember
Man,
like
He-Man,
neighbors.
and Beastman.
I think
Skeletor, of
my
course.
memories of He-Man come from 2005. So I don't have much to go with.
if you,
Oh
if
God,
you
you're
want
not talking about that Dolph Lundgren movie, Masters of
Hey,
the
you
Universe.
shut
are
your
you?
mouth. That Dolph Lundgren movie is amazing.
No, there was a TV show they
liked
did
it.
in
I liked it.
2005.
I did enjoy it because it had Courtney Cox in it, and
Of
she
course.
was hot.
Yeah. And excellent. No, but the voice of Skeletor, none other than Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill.
That's
Oh,
the only thing
nice.
that's got me interested in it is that they've got they've got
Mark
Mark Hamill to do the voice.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
I am excited for that. Like I'm stoked. I don't think it's going to be one that I can watch with my kids though. If he's pulling a true 1980s style, making it dark, making it scary, I honestly don't think I can watch it with my kids. And I'll still watch it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But
He-Man.
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 So
Okay.
I guess we'll do mine. And then,
In fact, just while we're talking about He-Man, one final thing before we go, get off this tangent.
Tangent
that
alert.
consignment store that I was in that I took a photograph of the Ghost Yoda? There is
Yeah.
a stall in there, Thaddeus, that has a Castle Grayskull and all the Star Wars figures.
Seriously.
So when next time I go to that consignment store, I will take photographs of all the He-Man figures, vehicles, and the playsets that they've got in there.
Awesome.
Seriously.
Okay.
There's some seriously awesome 80s merchandise in that consignment store, mate.
So when you said that, after today's show, everyone go and look up He-Man, Skeletor, Time of My Life. Okay, there is a shop, a supermarket somewhere. It's either in Australia or the UK, and I know that divide amongst our community is very. You guys don't like each other, but it is. He-Man walks into a bar. And sitting at the bar and full, like, Skeletor dress, thong and everything. And this is like a biker bar.
It's
modern
not a
day.
thong, it's a loincloth.
Yeah,
What?
you're gonna say get it right at least.
Whatever.
It's a loincloth.
He walks into a biker bar, and sitting at the bar is Skeletor, right? And he walks up to Skeletor, points his sword at the jukebox, makes lightning the jukebox, and the song I've Had the Time of My Life comes on, and they do the Dirty Dancing dance with Skeletor and He-Man, and it is amazing. It is awesome. It is the funniest thing that you will ever watch. There's a I forget the name of the store, but it's like the Superstore or something like that. I don't know, but it's so funny. Look it up. Skeletor, He-Man, Time of My Life.
Okay.
Hilarious.
I'm gonna bring us back off this tangent now. That's why we
Back
have
off
a
the tangent
tangent
train.
alert. I'm gonna bring us off this tangent. Finish off. Give us some finishing off on the Final Fantasy flair.
I'm playing it right now. I'm actually recording it for YouTube. And so I'll be editing up pieces of those and throwing that up probably starting this time around next week. So if you want to see my thoughts on them and how I'm reacting to it, it's not the live stream kind of format. It's literally just kind of me playing the game. But if you want to see how I'm thinking about it as I'm playing through, you can go and check it out over there. But really love it so far. About 3-4 hours in right now, and loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Good. Well, make sure to let us know when you've got some footage up, and we'll get it going. Thaddeus, I'm about to hand over to you now anyway, so shh. Oh, all right.
I have a question.
Yes.
About Final Fantasy.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, something relevant.
Yeah, it's totally relevant. I promise. What is a chocobo?
It's like a chicken. It's basically like a chicken. It's a giant chicken. It's a giant chicken.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you eat these chocobo, or do you just ride them?
You ride the chocobo.
Okay, I played a Final Fantasy. I don't remember which one. I actually think I played 7, but I'm not sure. I also played 8 and I think 9. I can't remember. but like all I remember was getting on Chocobo and getting lost in the world. And then I'd save it because I didn't know what was going on. Then I'd come back and I was like, what the hell am I doing? And then I'd just ride on a Chocobo for hours. And I was
in the original Final Fantasy VII, there was a whole thing where you had to do Chocobo races. And there was stuff related to like in-game items that were related to winning the highest tier of Chocobo race.
Which is ridiculous. I could never get that Chocobo to like win ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was infuriating. I was so mad at it.
So Thaddeus, what are you geeking out about this week?
Oh. Okay.
So drum roll. Here we go. And
at the suggestion of our, I don't want to say dearly departed, but because he's not departed, our good friend Paul, who's not
I'm not dead yet.
Today. I'm not dead yet. Yes, you are.
Save your voice. The show must go on tomorrow.
I want to talk about Funko Pop dolls. Okay. Now, when I'm not farming,
I call them bobbleheads.
Well, that's fine. Whatever. You call them what you want.
No.
When I'm not farming,
we've had this debate. Not all Funko Pops are bobbleheads, but all bobbleheads are. Not all Funko Pops are bobbleheads. No, it's the other. Which way around was it? It's the other way around, isn't it?
Not all bobbleheads are Funko Pops.
But all
Funko Pops are bobbleheads.
Yeah.
And even that's not true because I have a few that aren't full on bobbleheads.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some that are not.
I have for those of you. Hold on, let me go grab them real quick. So I have a series of. I have some. Let me. These are my Funko. There's dresses on the floor. Don't look at those. But those are and don't get mad at me because that's of my OU flag. But those are my collection of Funko Pops. I've been collecting since someone at an office that I worked at left a Benedict Cumberbatch. What's that one role that he's famous for? Sherlock Holmes. They were like, this is nobody's. We don't know who it is. You're a giant child. Here's this. And I was like, sweet, I'm keeping it. And so I did. And so it slowly started to grow from there. It was Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock. Then I got a Chewbacca, and then I started getting more and more and more. I am
good Englishman.
I am
very good Englishman there.
Yes. I am what some people call an addict. When I start something, I go gung ho, and so.
So shouldn't you start that sentence with "Hi, I'm Thaddeus. I'm an addict. I've been collecting Funko Pops for about 5 years now."
I actually have been collecting Funko Pops for about 5 years now.
I know, that's why I said it. We've had this conversation.
Okay. So this is the Jawa from The Mandalorian.
Ooh, red-eyed Jawa.
I got a little jealous that Paul had this and I did not. This is my Hondo Onaka bobblehead. I've got a number from like the Mando, and if you guys watched us when we did Talking Mando recently, booyah! So we're very excited about this one. There are two versions of this
Baby
little Baby Yoda. I've got this one, and before August, I will be buying the actual size 10-inch Funko Baby Yoda, the life-size Funko. Clearly, I've got the Mandalorian. You got to have the Mando. I've got my two favorite. I say my two favorite, but the dyad that caused so much problem in Star Wars. And this is a new purchase that I'm very excited.
Ooh.
Luke on a Tauntaun.
That's
right?
awesome.
Hey, didn't I send the photograph of that one with the Force Ghost Yoda as well?
Yeah, I think you did.
You still want that Force Ghost Hermit Yoda, don't you?
I kind of do. I kind of do. So
we'll get it squared away. What we'll simply do is just I'll get you to PayPal me because it was $25. Just PayPal me and I'll buy it for you and mail it to you.
See, but I want other ones as you're going through here. Like there's a lot of little. I also have this Leia one that just showed up, but I have a number of like my favorite ones, and the ones that I really still want, and a lot of the ones that I still want are Ewok related, Endorians as I like to call them. I have a few Ewoks, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
How good a shape do you keep the boxes in? I'm assuming you keep the boxes in pristine condition as well.
I don't.
Seriously, dude, come on.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah, dude, did you see my list here? Or did you see my connection? I'm going to show up and get everyone a crotch shot.
Oh gosh, he's standing.
Also, on Shameless, because Hellenix told me to do this. Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, Order 66. Order 66 was an inside job.
Absolutely was.
Of course it was an inside job. They're always inside jobs.
Go to the Going Nerdy swag store. And you can get this cool shirt. I showed this to my wife, and she's like, "I don't get it." And I'm like, "I failed you as a husband."
Oh my God,
and
seriously?
she looked at. She's like, "So you bought a nerd shirt?" And I was like, "No, I made this. But like if you see the leg lamp that I made for my wife for Christmas, that's an actual lamp that I use for lighting here in my basement / studio. Like I don't have the boxes. Like I don't keep the boxes because I just to me it's not, these aren't things that I want to sell.
No, it's not about
not at
it's
all.
not about selling them. It's about storage and transportation of them.
I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, yeah, but you
I
don't
say
know that. What if you win the
That's
lottery
true.
tomorrow and you think, hey, let's upscale and move to a bigger house? What are you going to do?
No.
Wrap all your Funko Pops in bloody newspaper? No, you keep
No,
the
no,
boxes
no.
so that you
Dude.
can put
No,
them
you
back in.
numpty.
And pack
First
them and move.
off, Nev, I've already decided what I'm doing. I'm building a bomb shelter underneath my current house to protect me from the fallout of the future radioactive.
Oh yeah, no, that would. Yeah, I mean, if you won the
You know.
lottery, you would 100% be able to afford to dig under your house. You
absolutely.
just make an elevator down,
Yeah.
a couple of 100 feet, and then you have them hollow out.
Exactly.
An underground bunker immediately under your house. Yeah.
Yeah, pull a blast from the past. What's that one guy from?
You're
Crap.
talking about Brendan Fraser from Blast
Thank
from the
you.
Past.
I was like, he was really handsome, then he got really fat.
Yeah.
See, I'm the other way around.
He was a Hollywood darling, and then he got chunky. It's a bit like
Yeah.
Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal was like, yeah, what? And then he got chunky, and it's like, yeah, dude, we really can't cast you in action movies
Yeah.
anymore because no one wants to watch a fat guy do
Well,
Aikido.
that and he was like part of like a sex trades thing.
Was
And-
he? I was unaware
Yeah,
of
he
that.
was.
I just
Steven Seagal.
I just kind of figured, movie execs were like, dude, seriously, we can't do a movie with a martial artist who's as chunky as you. So
Yeah, no. He's
go away.
Yeah, Steven Seagal. He dropped off the map for a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
not
I mean,
just the chubbiness.
He's an action hero. I mean, it's not like it's not like Marlon Brando who got fat. He's still a grade A actor. It doesn't matter what shape or size Marlon Brando was. You're
Yeah,
still
'cause he's
gonna
awesome.
get an A. You're still gonna get a sweet actor. There are certain people who it does not matter what they look like. You're talking like grade A quality acting, but Steven Seagal is an action hero who can't really
He can't act.
So when he loses his appeal, and his appeal from like Under Siege, his appeal from Under Siege was his ability to kind of like look like a cool action hero, So
Oh, hold on. Part of the appeal for Under Siege was not just Steven
I know
Seagal.
it was Erika Eleniak jump. The only reason I watched Under Siege was because Erika Eleniak jumped out of a cake topless.
That was also a great part, but like Gary Busey was the main bad guy.
No, he wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it was Gary Busey. Yeah, it was Gary Busey was the main bad guy.
It wasn't Gary
I'm looking it
Busey.
up.
Gary Busey was
Gary
in
Busey.
it, but he wasn't the main bad guy. He was the halfway through the movie. He was sort of he was the I think he
The
was
secondary
captain.
antagonist?
He wasn't the main protagonist though.
I am going
He
to
wasn't
disagree.
the main protagonist. He was in the movie as one of the crew of the bad guy, but he wasn't the main protagonist.
Man,
Antagonist.
it was Tommy Lee
Get your movie
Jones.
rules right,
It was
Neil.
Tommy Lee
All right,
Jones.
no.
Tommy Lee Jones was the main bad guy. Gary Busey
All
was
right.
kind of like a sidekick to Tommy Lee Jones.
That's a valid point. How can but still, Tommy Lee Jones is the main bad guy. That's I mean, you're watching it for not just the Steven Seagal kicking butt at a time when he could do that.
Yeah.
But Gary Busey, before he was like full on Busey.
Before he went full on nuts.
Yeah, before it's
Before he
called
went
the full
full-on
Busey.
bonkers.
Yeah, it's the full Busey. And then you've got Tommy Lee Jones, who's just an awesome actor. He's
Flair,
also
you know what? We're going to be, this show. I have a tangent alert because we go off on tangents all the time. You need to jump in on these tangents when we go off on tangents. I mean, how the hell we got from Funko Pop to Under Siege, I have no idea.
Gary Busey. That's how we do it. He pulls us everywhere.
I don't know if Gary Busey came up until after Steven Seagal.
Hold on. Let's try to work it backwards. Gary Busey, Steven Seagal, fat guy, sex trade.
Back to Steven Seagal.
Back to Steven Seagal.
Transporting stuff in boxes versus building a fallout shelter underneath your house.
Bomb
shelter under a house.
It's the lack there. I don't see how he jumped. Doesn't matter. So
you don't keep the boxes.
I don't keep the boxes. I used to keep. Hold on, let me see if I have any around here. I used to keep the backings because it would have like the different symbols of like each different like faction that the group was from. And what I would do is I would actually tape them to a wall in my classroom.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yes.
Yes.
But the inside of that. Right?
Oh, the little insert.
There's like a little card that goes inside. And so like I would
Grid's
take
in
that,
the chat.
Grid, and I would take that out. Gridden, what's up, man? I would take that out and I would like, yes, that. I take that out and I'd like tape it to my wall. And then, I went to this classroom. It's a brand new school. I was like, sweet, I'm going to be here forever. And then after the first year, they're like, nope, you're moving classrooms. And I was like, well, crap. And now when I went to untape everything, I taped it so well that I ripped all of it off and it just didn't work.
See, if you do, I mean, you understand that if you do PayPal me the money needed to get that, the Ghost Hermit Yoda, it's $25 because it's still in a box, right?
No, I get it.
Taking it out of the box and throwing the box of the way,
like immediately cuts the value in half.
Instantly devalues it. You get
Not
that, right?
to me.
Well, that's you. I worked with a guy who collected Funko Pops like it was going out of style.
These are my Beanie Babies.
Yeah, so he collected them like Beanie Babies. So
that
literally,
that would be like
I
me
remember
taking Han Solo out of his box.
I don't see how do you play with him? Do you get the box?
I don't want to play with him. I just want to look at how nice he is and the shiny foil that's next to him. I am never opening this.
Well, I feel like you're missing out on the toy aspect of.
I'm 42. I don't play with toys.
That's your problem. You need to play with toys, Nev. You
let
need
the little child in you come back out.
Yeah.
I play with Murdoch.
You say play with your toys.
I do play with
Ellie's correct.
I do
play with your toys.
Yeah, Helly's right, man.
I play
with
the stuff that isn't in boxes. Murdoch's not. Look, see, I can do this. I can make, Murdoch can join. There, see, there's Murdoch. Murdoch's joining the conversation.
And I can't do that with, Jawa.
I mean, my Captain America just bobbles his head.
Yeah.
That's kind of all he does. This is the only one that I have, and it's the end game version of Captain America from where he has the hammer and spoiler alerts and stuff like that. And this is the only one I've got, and there's some ones that are playing on the slideshow right now that I'm wanting as soon as they're available.
Yes.
Yes, Pyron Alley makes a good point. That's why you buy more than one. One to keep in the box and one to play with.
I think it's expensive, though.
All right.
Okay, come on. Oh, we're off the tangent. Let's get back on the Funko Pops.
I think we got back on somehow.
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune, nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
she'd get it.
So I found him, and this is an example of one that's a Funko, but not a bobblehead. See, this is the Sherlock.
So I think that's because of licensing. So all of the Marvel and Disney and Star Wars products have to have our bobbleheads.
That makes
when
sense.
you do like the Murdoch and everything, the ad icons, which were a guy I worked with at my first job out of college. I knew when it was 11 o'clock on a Tuesday every week, because you did not expect him to answer any support tickets or calls because he was on Funko trying to get the latest release if it was an ad icon.
Yeah, as you should. Here's one of my earlier two.
Yes, I know that one. He
Son
had
of
that one
Zorn.
on his desk.
Son of Zorn. Now,
No idea.
you guys, I gotta say, this is a show that I'm devastated that they canceled. It was a cartoon live action hybrid on NBC, I think. And it was Jason Sudeikis played Zorn. This guy.
Throw it around. Just throw it around.
He plays Zorn, this guy, who is like a He-Man style character, right? It was Fox. There you go. Thank you, Pernally. So it was Fox, and he played this He-Man style character who's in his 40s now, and he's trying to reconnect with his son and ex-wife. Ex-wife, I can't remember who plays it, but she's married. She's remarried to this this psychiatrist guy. Played by, I forget his name. But it's so funny. It's like a full cast of Saturday Night Live people. It is hilarious. And the first season actually ends in a cliffhanger, which, because at the end of the first season it was canceled, is perfect because, funny show. But this was like one of my favorite. I got this guy when Toys R Us was going out of business, and I bought like a buttload of Funkos, and he was one of them. And I'm glad that I have him because he's awesome.
Okay,
but
so how many do you have?
50?
How many do you own?
Hold on. I'm not counting. I'm guessing like 50, 55.
So you've been collecting for 5 years, so you get 10 a year roughly?
Ish, yeah. I mean, and I only get them if like I really want them.
Sets though, don't you?
Yeah, and so like I haven't collected a ton from the sequel trilogy. I have a handful, actually a majority from the sequel trilogy. I have a lot from Mandalorian. There've been a lot that have come out since season 1. The original 4 came out. When the original 4 came out, went out and bought them like that day. But Baby Yoda wasn't even part of the original 4. So Baby Yoda came out, and then like 4 or 5 others. You got the armor, you've got a handful of others. Clearly I had to get Hondo, right? I was at Disneyland, whichever one's in California. I always get them mixed up. But I went around.
I think Disneyland is Florida and Disney World is California, but I could be wrong.
I went around every shop I could that sold Star Wars stuff looking for Hondo for 2 days. And finally, they were like, I went to a place, they're like, oh yeah, we don't sell that here. We only sell that at Disney World. I was like, I was so pissed. And so, yeah, this one is only available at Disney World. So I bought it online and got it shipped to me. But I've got a lot of them. I've got a lot of little toys. It's fun for me to collect. I think that they're a lot of fun. At my in my classroom, I have John from Die Hard. I forget his last name. John something crap. I don't know the guy.
I just had to write something down quickly. I completely forgot.
I've got the main good guy and the main bad guy from Die Hard, and I actually use them when I'm teaching a lesson about how to break down a story, and it's awesome because I use Die Hard with middle school students who've never seen Die Hard.
I was gonna say, is Die Hard older than Die Hard?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Die Hard
gosh.
1 was in like 89, I think.
Oh
Die
yeah,
Hard
you're
1
right.
was
Okay.
either
We're
89
well
or
past their time.
90.
Yeah, older
Die
Yeah.
Hard,
than me.
woohoo!
And yeah, and the students I get, they're like they weren't born until like after 2000. It's ridiculous. But yeah, like I used these little Funko dolls to like, it's just fun. I'm a big kid. I like to collect this crap because like it keeps me young, right? It keeps me playful and stuff. And John McClane. Thank you.
John McClane
Hans.
is the good guy, and
John
Hans
McClane
Gruber
is
is the
the
bad
good
guy.
Yes, Hans Gruber.
Come sofort.
Yeah.
We have ways of making you talk. I love
Oh.
see the Hans Gruber character, a Brit again, because
Oh,
Brits
yeah.
make the best bad guys.
You do.
We make the best bad guys.
I will talk about what's coming up this week. Tomorrow, my next video was awesome in my mind, but it's all about British angry people or bad guys, British bad guys.
British bad guys. Yeah, no, that's fine because we're all wonderfully evil, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. You can't take over a majority of the world without
You can't
I don't
take
know,
over.
like-
You can't take over the world without a British guy, without an Englishman
yeah.
at the
The
top
late Alec-
of the food
Proper
chain.
Englishman.
a proper Englishman. The late Alec
See, when we
Rickman.
speak and we say things that are evil, they
Oh, so much-
sound evil.
Yeah,
Just-
it's actually
We
terrifying.
can just.
Right?
I mean, I
Look-
could say something so horrible to you right now, and you'd be like, "Yeah, that's just so evil."
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
It's in the thing in the chat. Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, all James Bond villains. Amazing films.
Gone in
all
60
about
seconds.
British crime
Gone in
people.
60 seconds. British
Gone-
bad guy.
Oh,
Christopher
I know.
Eccleston.
yeah.
Who's
And let's
not
face
even who's not even that good an actor.
No, he's not.
You can
He's
take
not.
a semi-good British actor and they still make an awesome villain.
Oh, well, because I think they're just believable, right? Take any picture, and Nev, I hope this isn't offensive, or to any of my British colleagues out there. Take any picture of the Queen out of context, and she looks like she's scheming. Like she does.
She probably is.
Yeah.
She
You
probably
know, like-
is scheming.
And like the fact, and again, mad props to the Queen of England, because that woman's still alive and kicking with all the crap that she's gone
Look,
through.
she's gonna go down kicking and screaming. She's not gonna give
Absolutely,
up
she
easily.
is. Absolutely, she is. There's a reason why the British haven't tried to overthrow her, because she won't let them.
No,
She'll be sending herself a telegram in a few years.
Yeah.
In the United Kingdom, if you're a citizen of the United Kingdom, when you reach 100 years old, if you reach your 100th birthday, you get a telegram from the Queen.
Cool.
Wow.
She's still going to be the Queen when she's 100, so she will literally be sending herself a
and
telegram
screaming.
wishing
As
herself
she
a
should.
100th
Kicking
birthday.
and screaming.
Yeah.
Her
Absolutely. And
mother made it to 100.
did she?
The Queen
Did
mother
she?
made it to 100.
I'm telling you, man. They're like, I will say that after Elizabeth's out, I don't know what's going to happen to your monarchy, but
What was it? 905. Please throw out some
Sparks in
bad
chat.
guys. Well,
He said,
you
Neil, give us some bad guy lines as a proper Englishman.
Feed me some bad guy lines from some movies, and I will read them out.
feed him some good guy lines from
feed
some
me some-
movies.
feed me
Ooh,
some-
good
feed me
guy
some
lines.
bad guy
That'd be even
lines.
better.
Feed him some
Lovely.
good guy lines from some movies. And as
Hey,
he
Thad,
reads them,
I
he's-
hear there's some. I hear there's some Star Wars pops that are coming out here pretty soon.
Oh, yes. Oh
and,
yes. So, and that's part of the reason. One of the things that I was looking at in July 20th, so a little over a month, we have some fan favorite characters being added. They're going to be exclusive to GameStop. If that's still around as a company in July, look for that. But GameStop is coming out with a Darth Revan and a Darth Malak. And
So you'll be buying
here's
those
what-
then.
This is
For
what's
sure, for
interesting,
sure.
and I'm gonna throw this out. typically when they're doing these types of things, when they're releasing content for specific video games, when they're releasing movie content or stuff, it's either to celebrate an anniversary or to get it in the front of a person's mind that stuff's coming out. Now, I think that the Darth Revan and the Revan and Malak are coming out around the same time as this whole new era of Star Wars is going to be focused on. Now, a lot of it's going to be pushed back, the High Republic. A lot of it's going to be pushed back till next year. But I think that it's going to tie directly into these two characters who will be the focus of the next trilogy.
That would be interesting.
That's what I'm thinking. So
another conspiracy theory in the works?
That I don't have my hat nearby, but if I did, I'd be wearing it.
I got rid of my tinfoil hat as well. So.
I have it around here somewhere. I just don't. Like, you saw my room; it's a mess. So,
that's not an Englishman, and he wasn't a bad guy. But I'll say it anyway. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. Not ass, arse. And
it was arse.
What did he put in there? Where is it?
She's and I'm all out of
outlive her son, Spite. Okay, are you all done with bobbleheads?
So yeah, like typically these bobbleheads they go for like $8 to $10. The bigger ones, 20, 25. But like Neil says, if they're in the case, they go for more periodically.
Especially if they're an ad icon, the cereal box and like the TV show icons.
Yep.
If you don't get them in the first release, they're like $80, $100.
Yeah.
I will say, if you. Oh wow, that is a Discord message from the past. I have to check that one later. I just got a Discord message from Chubakake who like quit a game that we don't talk about on this channel quite some time ago.
Not on this show.
Not on this show.
Not on this show. Okay, so is it time to move over to mine then?
It is time to move over.
Let's
Nev,
let's
what are you
over.
going to be talking about today?
I'm going to be talking about PlayStation 5.
I'm excited for you to talk about this.
PlayStation 5 had their big reveal today. It was like an hour and a half long. I tuned in to the Yongye live streamed it, and oh my god! For starters, it looks awesome. The console looks awesome. It's got this white. It's got this white outer shell, and there's just wait till the image comes up. It looks really, really slick. Wireless controllers, wireless HD cam, wireless earphones. Everything's wireless. Everything is 100% wireless, so it looks really good. The controller looks like it's going to be really, really comfortable. I must admit. It looks ergonomic, but it looks aesthetically pleasing. It really does look
better
aesthetically pleasing.
I must admit,
I'm curious to know what the ergonomics are like, but it doesn't look anything like it looks. The controller looks like nothing you've seen before.
Interesting.
It looks like it would feel really, really comfortable. So
because my one complaint with PlayStation 4 is the ergonomics of the main controller, because the thumbsticks both being down there. Nintendo went with the Xbox design and having one stick up in the top left and one stick in the bottom right, and it just feels good. It feels good.
Well, these new controllers, it looks like the buttons, the sticks, it looks like everything is kind of recessed into the control. So it doesn't look like there's an awful lot sticking out.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's an awful lot sticking out from the control, which kind of stops it eases that. I imagine it eases that wear and tear factor. If there's not so much of a elevate, so if you've got the flat of the controller, if things aren't raised too high, there's no risk of cracks, there's no risk of scuffs, there's no risk of scratches. It looks like it's got a much shallower profile on the control, so the controllers look absolutely awesome. It looks like the console comes with two. It does look like the console comes with two controllers. a set of earphones and the HD camera. I imagine they're going to be different packages, but they've got two different types of PlayStation. They've got the PlayStation 5, and then they've got the digital version. It looks like the digital version does not have the CD-ROM drive, or the it's probably going to be a Blu-ray DVD-ROM drive.
Yeah.
But you've got two versions. So you've got one, and you can see the disc on the side. You can see the disc space where the disc is going to go in and out. And then they've got the digital version, which just looks thinner because it doesn't have a disc drive in it. So they've got two versions going at the moment. And, oh my God, the games, some of these games just look incredible. I mean, just in this reveal, they revealed Horizon Forbidden West, Demon Souls. That looks incredible.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, Demon Souls. So they've got a sequel to Demon Souls called Demon's Souls. They have got there was an add-on to Spider-Man. There is a DLC, Spider-Man Miles Morales. That looked really good.
Yeah.
I played the PS4 Spider-Man, and let me tell you, it was an amazing game.
Yeah, well, it looks like the PS5 has got a Miles Morales DLC. That looks good. Gran Turismo 7 looks. Oh my God, the cars just look so real. So if you like if you're a junkie, a car junkie, you are gonna love Gran Turismo 7. It looks. They actually showed the gameplay in it, and the hands on this it just looks incredible. Resident Evil 8. The Village, yes, there is a Resident Evil 8 coming out. That looks good.
I'm looking at a press release of what all was shown off, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The Ratchet and Clark Rift Apart. That looks incredible.
Say that again. Ratchet and who?
Ratchet and Clank.
There you go. You said Clark. I was like,
sorry.
Clark and Lewis. No.
Ratchet and Clank Rifts Apart. That looks good. Then there's Godfall. That looks like a good one. Solar Ash looks like a good one. Little Devil Inside looks like an awesome little indie game. One of the big things that was revealed during the reveal was there was half the games were indie games. We're talking about full-on indie games because some of them looked really, really good. One that I saw that just looks incredible. I would love to try. I put an asterisk next to the two games that really, really stood out. And we've got a snap hiss from somebody. I don't know who, but thank you for following, or for subbing, or for cheering, or for something.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Project
Athia looks incredible. It looks like it's a first. I mean, the reason why it looks. I like my RPGs. It looks like it's a first-person RPG, and it just looks incredible. It's brand new IP, so that looks good. We have another sequel though.
Talking about a
Hitman 3.
Yes.
Agent 40. Yep. So that is back. Deathloop looks like your standard first-person shooter. That looks like a really, really good one. Stray. Now, watching the trailer for Stray was like, so it starts off and there's robots. There's just robots everywhere, and you see this rest in peace humans. And the trailer's going on, and there's a cat in it, and you're like, okay, not quite getting it. And then it gets to the end, and Youngye's like, oh my God, you're the cat. So they've literally, and it's called Stray. So it's a video game, and you are the cat. So that looks like it could be really, really interesting. Returnal looks really, really good. Returnal is a new IP one. That looks absolutely incredible. You've got a female pilot. It looks like she crash lands on this planet, and I think the plot of the game is to complete it before your character goes completely insane. That's kind of the gist I got from it. So I mean, I imagine that the character is probably going to get more progressively insane as the game. So you've got to get things done before your character. It looks really, really good. So that's Returnal. Then you've got some kid ones in there. So you've got Sackboy, A Big Adventure. That looks like a multiplayer, like 1, 2, 3, or 4 people all playing on the same screen. That looks incredible. 3D platform type game. Destruction All Stars looks like a battle royale type game, but it's not like Fortnite. It's not your standard battle royale. It's a car battle royale. So
What the
cars
heck? Okay.
driving
So-
into and smashing into each other. So it looks like
What was-
they basically.
There was a game. It was on the PS1 that was like that, and it had the ice cream truck with the flames, Twisted Metal.
Yes, Twisted Metal. Yep, I know what you're talking
Twisted Metal. This seems like that.
Yeah. So,
Um,
you can also get out of the car and you can do stuff. Your character can do stuff out of
about.
the car.
Okay.
It looks very, very silly, very off the cuff. It
Yeah.
looks like it's there for the fun. It's one of those. It looks like it's a battle royale type game just for the fun, not taking itself seriously. So that looks good. Which brings me on to another, like, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. This looks like another first-person RPG, and oh my god, the graphics just look incredible.
Yeah.
And it's another brand new IP one. Looks like a pretty cool looking female-led character RPG. It looks really, really good. The graphics just look incredible. It looks like it's not going for realism like a cyberpunk type game. It's more animated. It's like Link. It's more like Legend of Zelda style. For the it was very reminiscent, but much clearer, much crisper graphics. It's like the Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Switch. That's when I saw it, it instantly reminded me of that. But the gameplay that it was showing, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot better than the Nintendo Switch. So there was that.
There's a few of these in this list.
Yeah.
Oddworld,
Oddworld Soulstorm. So they've brought back an old IP and made a new game.
I grew up playing trying to think. It was an Xbox release. It was Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. It was such a weird game.
So
But
the
it was so fun.
Yeah. So the Oddworld Soulstorm looks good. Another one that looks good, and it looks to me like it's called Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yes,
and
they talked about this at E3
they
2
have
years ago, I think.
mapped the entire city for this game.
Really?
But the way that the game looks, I think it's one of the camera ones, because the gameplay that they showed involved hand movements that do everything. So I
it's like a
imagine
VR
you're
game.
going to be stood in front of your TV with your camera pointing at you, and in order to play this game and do the actions, you're going to need to make specific because all of the action that was happening on the screen involved literally hand signals that you saw in front of the screen. So I'm thinking that that's going to be one of these. That's probably going to involve using the HD camera, which looked good. Then there was one more indie game, and that was Jet the Barshore. But it looks like they have got a lineup from 2021 until 2022, a series of really, really, really good-looking games. And the trailer started off with Grand Theft Auto 5. Everybody thought, "Oh, are they bringing out a Grand Theft Auto 6?" It's not. What PlayStation has done is they've teamed up with Rockstar to make it just look better and play faster, because obviously you've got the SSD in the PlayStation 5, so transitions are going to be seamless. Going from scene to scene.
Well, I think it's more than just the
absolutely
SSD. They're
flawless.
adding in a couple of new controller. They're putting a couple of few chipsets in the system that handle, especially the. I know Linus Tech Tips was doing a video about this the other day. Talking about how they have a specific controller that is for the repetitive assets. So, like in Grand Theft Auto, a stop sign, it's not going to be different on every other street corner. So a stop sign is going to be a continual asset. So instead of loading that into a specific part of memory, there's a specific part of the SSD that's going to be stored in. And instead of having to have it in every layer of asset, it's just going to be call it. And it's going to speed up everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was good. It was really, really good. They had the CEOs of the game developers on doing interviews. They had the CEO of Blaze. It was very, very slick. It was very well done. It was very informative. Some of them were just trailers. But some of the ones that showed the gameplay, oh my God, it looks good. It really, really looks good. I'm going to be very jealous and very envious of anybody that gets their hands on a PlayStation 5. That's for sure. Right,
It's all going to depend on the
damn
price
for
point.
sure.
All going to depend on that price point.
Yep.
But yep. So that is
What
me
do you
done,
think it's gonna be
and
set at?
that is me finished talking, and you know what that means.
Oh,
We've
I
done
think
all.
that Thad, did you ask a question, Thad?
No, the price. What do you guys think it's gonna be set up?
They're
They've not
gonna.
stated a price yet. I'm thinking maybe 450, 500.
Yeah.
I think they'll undercut the Xbox. I think they'll undercut the Xbox X by $100.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
this is one of the things that I was thinking about with that camera. Now that you brought up the whole motion things, the Xbox One struggled with that, right?
Oh, what the Kinetic?
That's not
with
really
the
been their
Kinect.
bread and butter.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
hasn't
really
been a strength, and I'm wondering if Sony is going to be able to capitalize it on in ways that Xbox didn't.
It did
Because
show. Oh, I'm trying to remember. It did showcase one of the VR games that's going to be
Mhm.
part of it. I can't remember which one.
now,
I can't remember which one it was. One of the games that they showcased was, I think it was an indie game, but it was one of the VR games. It was one of the VR games that you're going to be able to play on the PlayStation. But they didn't
Mhm.
showcase the VR headset, so I don't know
Yeah.
what that's going to look like or how it's going to work.
see, but that would be cool if they could incorporate that without having to use controllers, but could just pick up your hand gestures to be able to play stuff like Vader, Immortal,
Mhm.
because like the only reason right now that I want a VR headset is to play games like Vader Immortal chapters 1, 2, and 3.
I'd want one for that or for Half-Life Alyx because
Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx looks amazing.
Like I've actually been through there's a local company, but they've got stands in outside of both Disney's. They've got stands in Vegas. It's called The Void. And look it up. They've got one in Vegas. They've got one in Dubai. They've got one in London, New York. They're all over the place. It's not just interactive with VR. They've actually built a sound stage where you walk through different elements of a story that you're involved in.
Interesting.
It's really cool. Both, and like I said, they're both outside of Disney and Disney World, Disneyland. They're about $45 per person for a 15-minute set. It's a lot of money. I actually applied there and I interviewed for a teaching gig. It was really cool. But they gave during the interview process, they were like, "Hey, we want you to experience this." And I was like, "All right, I know you have a Star Wars one. Can I go through that?" And they were like, "Yes." And so I went through and played as a stormtrooper or as a rebel with K2SO, with Cassian Andor. It was really cool. You land on Mustafar. It's an awesome concept, but the idea is it's 4D. It's heat. It's external everything. It's really cool concept.
Okay.
You guys know what I'm talking about? But again, the idea is that if they could bring that technology into a console, it would make a huge leap in everything. If you guys watch the on Disney Plus, the Mandalorian Star Wars
Behind the scenes stuff.
yeah. There's one that talks about technology, and you specifically see Jon Favreau with that headset and like the little guns, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna move the camera this way," and it's really cool concept. But seeing them do that in a big budget system like building Star Wars, right? Building the Mandalorian, but bringing it into your own home, seeing all the stuff that PS5, and I know I'm rambling here, but seeing all the stuff that the PS5 is capable of just gives me hope that something like that will come sooner or later.
It's not going to be an upgrade. I mean, it looks like they're setting up the PS5 for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It really does look like they're setting up the PS5 for the next 10 years. It's like we are putting all of our eggs in one basket for the next 10 years. Once the PS5 is out, forget about it. It's not going to be until 2030 until we come out with another PlayStation.
Yep.
That's what I think. That's personally what I think anyway. Because the way that the graphics look on these things, it's like you look at some of the graphics for some of these games, some of these reveals, and you just it's hard to imagine how they could be any less, how they could be any better, how they could just everything, the gameplay, it was flawless. There was no glitching, no jerk, nothing. Everything. I mean, the amount of detail that was on the screen for the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart game, I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, it was literally going from these portals were open and he was falling through one, so you've got this immersive world happening around him, and he's getting closer and closer and closer to this portal, then, and all of a sudden, boom, he goes through it, and the next, he's into this next immersive world, and it was completely and utterly flawless. No loading screen, no lag time, no nothing. Going from one immersively, hugely detailed world into the next one, and then straight into the gameplay. It was absolutely phenomenal. I would highly recommend going and watch. I mean, some of the game. I mean, that one on the screen there, Goodbye Volcano High. It didn't show any gameplay, and the trailer didn't look interesting at all. Which is why I didn't mention it. It wasn't written down on my list. It was the only game I was not impressed by. Literally, I mean, the list was over 20 games, and there was only one game that I was not impressed with. So yeah. But we are moving along. We're moving along. So it is time for, you know what it's time for. It's
to pull them out and
it's
compare?
time for this. It is time for this.
All right.
So, Thaddeus, I have my piece of paper because I predicted, and I've already, see, no hands. I've already written down what I think you are going to say is your dick of the week.
Okay.
So let's hear what your nomination is.
Okay, let me bring it up. Now, does your okay, hold on. Here we go.
Just give me your nomination for dick of the week.
Fill it out.
People who shame people for eating at McDonald's.
Oh, right. Okay. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Okay. People who shame people who shame other people for eating at McDonald's.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna try to sell it for a moment.
Okay.
We all know McDonald's is terrible, right? Like, no one goes to McDonald's and say, I want to feel good about myself. You go to McDonald's because you want comfort food, right? You go there knowing that there's nothing on that menu that's healthy. Even the healthy stuff is not good for you.
Yeah.
Right?
It stops being healthy on the salad when you pour the dressing over it.
The dressing on, yeah.
It does. It absolutely does. And I've got to say that, like, it's gross. But it's gross in such a good way. You know, like, it's like eating Little Caesars pizza.
Oh,
you don't go there because it's delicious. You go there because it makes you feel bad about yourself. And then you can feel bad about the pizza and blame all of your problems on the pizza. Just like when you go to McDonald's, you can blame all of the problems on the food. You know that it's bad. But you also know that once you start eating those French fries, you can't stop. You just can't do it.
Okay, so that's a good nomination.
Other people from McDonald's eating.
Okay, so Flair, who is your nomination for Dick of the Week?
It's not people. Over the course of the quarantine and everything, all this nonsense, I've taken my car to the wash many times, and it just so happens every single time I get finished, come out of the car wash, big old bird poop lands on it. And
so birds are your Dick of the Week.
Yes, birds. We're gonna go with birds and stupid pigeons. Every single time.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so my nomination for Dick of the Week is tech support. You know, so something goes wrong, your phone breaks, you know, so you try and fix it. So you get the reason why I'm saying tech support is because my old man got a brand new iPhone. Okay, brand new. They couldn't do the phone-to-phone transfer across in the shop, so he brings it back because I've got an encrypted backup on the PC. I try and run said encrypted backup, and the phone just keeps switching off and rebooting, switching off and rebooting. So I go online and discover that it's called boot looping, and it's because there's a hardware fault in the phone. So it's brand new, less than 1 day old. Take it back to the shop, they won't replace it. oh no, it's not AT&T's problem, it's Apple's problem. So we send it off to Apple. They're like, yep, sure, not a problem. Our techies will have a look. We get a letter back from tech support. We ran a diagnostic on your phone, nothing wrong with it. I'm like, oh my God, it's boot looping. It's your technical website that told me it was boot looping. So yeah, so they've sent it back. Oh, so we've sent it back. Yeah, that's it. Tough. And I'm thinking to myself, it was tech support online that told me it was boot looping and that I needed to send it to them to be fixed. And they've sent it back with a letter saying there's nothing wrong with it. So my nomination for Dick of the Week is tech support. So is somebody,
Alright.
is Paul able to throw these up in a thingy, or are we just kind of like going to do an off-the-cuff one? Or can you do it, Flair?
Let's see here.
So
So-
I gotta say, Nev, it doesn't sound like it's tech support as much as Apple.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
And I might vote if you just say Apple, because
Apple, then. Fine, it's
Like-
Apple.
I
Since my example was the Apple tech support people, you know.
yeah I gotta say, like, I might agree with you on Apple. Apple is-
So Flair's doing that. While Flair's doing that,
All right,
we'll,
all right.
we'll-
So our nominations are
Birds. Apple,
Birds,
McDonald's, Shamers.
McDonald's Shamers. And maybe next week I'll do like a what do you call that? Chick-fil-A Shamers. I don't care what your politics are. They make the best damn chicken
They make
sandwich
the
ever.
best damn chicken.
Yes, absolutely.
And-
All right, guys. We are running the poll for 10 it's going for 10 minutes right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can vote with bits as we've been doing in the past. 25 bits for an additional vote. After the 10-minute timer, we get to see who's the dick of the week, or who has the dick of the week.
Okay.
Nev, I'm gonna vote for myself because I'm afraid that I won't get a vote otherwise.
That's all right. As long as you didn't say what I thought you were going to say. And I'm not going to show it during the show, but I will show you when the show's over what I thought you were going to say.
Probably something political, but
Well, it was going off your trend from last week when you went for the easy
oh,
win
okay,
and said
gotcha.
politicians.
Well, you know,
Oh, and
like
I've come up with another no-no.
okay.
Okay.
What's
So
another rule?
lawyers, politicians, and tax collectors.
Okay, well then
They're
I guess
no-nos. You were
that's
never
true.
allowed to nominate them because they're easy wins because everybody hates them.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Okay?
That's true. Lawyers,
Everybody
politicians,
hates them.
and tax
They're
collectors.
already mega loathed universally by everybody.
We don't
you
need to
can't
put- we don't
choose
need to-
something
We're on 'em.
that is mega loathed and universally despised by everyone already. Okay? That's the rule. You know I'm the number one breaker of my own.
You are.
You
are.
write
But
the
that's-
rules and you
but
break them yourself.
But I
That
will
should
never.
be the
I will
easiest
never
things for
break.
you.
I will
But-
never
but-
break. I will never break a dick of the week roll.
I
Rule.
can't see
I
the
will
poll for
never
some
break
reason.
a
B
dick of the
Coots,
week.
refresh the stream.
It is the villain of Nev.
The villainy.
The villainy. Like that's the thing. Like with
Yeah,
Nev,
I can say things.
he can
that
break
are
his own
totally
rules.
evil. Yeah, you
He's
know.
the villain.
I can rip off your head.
Ah,
and
these
shit
Englishmen.
down your neck.
They write the
Yep.
rules and think they can break them all and get
Yep.
completely fine with it.
Because he's English, and we let him get away with it. We're like, oh, Nev.
See, we can say really, really nasty, evil stuff, and you'll just let us get away with it because it sounds witty and funny when we say it. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're so used to us being evil in movies. That's why we get away with it. We're
Absolutely.
so used to seeing,
Stereotype.
you
When
are
you see an
so,
Englishman, you know he's the villain.
yeah.
Or
9 times
so-
out of
the
10.
love
You're so
interest.
used to us saying evil, nasty things that when
He-
we say evil, nasty things in real life, you're like, it's like, no, this is real life. I'm
Yeah,
going to
I'm-
kill you.
yeah, I'm stealing your
I'm
wallet.
literally going to rip off your head and shit down your neck.
Yeah,
Stop laughing.
It's,
Okay, then. That's
yeah,
did quickly.
they do. They think they
Yeah,
conquered
see,
the
we can
world
see,
once.
I can pull it off. You see, if you say that, people will be like, "Oh, don't be so nasty, Flair." But
Yeah.
when I say it, it's like,
Okay, number one, why would I be saying exactly that same statement? Because if we do recall, blood, guts, and clean language as God intended.
Yeah, it's Flair is a very, very upstanding young man, and if Flair did say it, it would come off as super intense.
Yeah, my
There would be
mission,
nothing charming about it.
my mission before the end of the year is to get Flair to swear live on the air.
No, you're not. That's not going to happen.
Hey, I thought when I went through basic training, when I first joined the army, and I was just a soldier doing my 10-week basic training, I did not swear. I would not swear. And my section commander, who was a guy called Corporal Doe, after 2 weeks, he said, "You don't say much, Susat. You very, very rarely speak. And when you speak, you never swear. I am going to get you to swear before the end of your 10-week basic training."
Those are the best people.
and I didn't swear until the very last week of basic training. And
it finally broke you.
And basically, I said, Corporal Doe, do you still want to hear me swear before the end of basic training? And he was like, yes, I do. And I went, fuck you, Corporal Doe. And that was it.
Have fun editing this, Thad.
I will have to edit this.
Yes, you are going to have to edit this. But we're into the
edit out
stories,
the
and I've had a
one
couple
F
of beers.
Yeah.
We're about halfway
Ned.
through, guys. So
I don't know. It looks like it's a race between the Nev birds and Apple tech support.
I don't know. I haven't had a look yet. Let's have a look. Where are we?
It's 2 votes for birds.
Oh, I'm winning.
Guys,
Now,
don't let the Englishman
Biku
win,
said
please.
that.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna win.
Biku said that he would have voted for me if you hadn't switched it to Apple. So technically, I get an assist on this.
Yes, Bcoots. For those in chat,
Ain't no prizes for second place or assists.
What world do you live in? There's totally prizes for second place.
Not
and
where
third
Dick of the
place
Week's concerned.
And also last place, Thad. Let's be honest.
Yes,
There's
last
also last place
place.
trophies.
3 men enter, 1 man leaves victorious. It's as simple as that.
That's true.
And
That's
I'm going to
true.
win unless people start, spending bits to vote more. So, not going to happen.
Can't spend bits to vote more.
Oh,
no,
you have
he
to,
didn't.
Bcoots. You have to do it in the vote. Thanks for the bits.
Thanks for the bits, B-Coots. So, come on, Thaddeus, go off on one of your mad tangents. What's the most out there conspiracy theory you've heard this week?
Oh gosh.
I do actually have a conspiracy theory. I've actually
I was
I've actually
thinking
heard
of
a
one while you were
conspiracy
talking.
theory.
And
It's
can't
based
remember
on
what
stuff
it
that's
was.
happening.
Oh, it was something. Oh crap! There was one that just hit me a few minutes ago, and I let it go because I was like, well, we're wrapping up, and I don't want the show to go super long. And I spaced it, and now it's gone. It's something about
Eggs.
Oh crap! It's gone. Eggs.
Birds. Communism.
Tech support.
Tech support.
It's always about tech support.
The fact that
Printer paper.
all of the worst tech support is
Ink.
all of like Jakarta and stuff
Clicky
like
pens.
I think
nail
they get a bad
files.
rap. I think Jakartians,
Jakarta and New Delhi.
Yeah,
are where
I think they get
most
a bad.
of the outsourced tech support is from.
They do
And
their
they're all
best.
called Bob and Greg
Yeah.
and David.
Or it always goes. Hello, welcome to tech support. My name is Mike. How can I help you?
Yeah. Oh man, I can't think of any, to be honest. I do think that now that the PS5 has dropped its latest information, we should be getting more information about this new Star Wars game that's coming out. My guess is that we'll get it tomorrow. It was meant to be launched. There's a new game. It's speculated to be either a freemium mobile game or a hardcore like RPG. The same company that did the storyline for Jedi Fallen Order, Montreal. I can't forget it. It's It's a Canadian company, but like they did the storyline for Jedi Fallen Order. They're doing this game
Respawn?
all by themselves. Say that again.
Respawn?
It's not Respawn. I think it's a subsidiary of Respawn. Let me bring up my Twitter real quick. They literally just opened a Twitter account, like literally. It was within the last like 2 or 3 weeks, and it's the company that's doing. Oh crap!
It's gone. It's just gone, hasn't it?
It is, but essentially they're doing this game, and it's supposed to be either the next Star Wars mobile game or quite possibly a new RPG, right? Project, oh crap, not Havoc, Project, what's his face? Tom Cruise in Top Gun, Maverick. Project Maverick.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
And so it's
that's the new game that's supposed to be released.
Yes, that's the title of, or the working title of the new game. Now it's, people are saying that it's either going to be a this freemium style game, or quite possibly even not a replicator, simulator, a flight simulator for Star Wars ships and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it was meant to launch.
So EA Motive, I think, is the one that worked on
Motive.
Yeah,
Motive Montreal. That's the name.
Okay.
All right, and the poll ended.
Maybe we'll have some breaking news next week. Maybe if we get some news on that, you can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I will.
So
okay.
So this week's
poll
is
ended.
Finished. Neil, congratulations.
You came in second.
See, that's why we rule the world. Because people voted for us. Oh, wait. No, they didn't. We just conquered everyone, didn't we?
Just conquered everyone.
I mean, that was the British way, right?
Yeah,
if something doesn't work, just conquer them.
Just conquer them, yeah. Send in the generals.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, obviously I won Dick of the Week again. So I'm kind of in the lead at the moment, which is brilliant. Thanks, everybody, for voting for me.
What does that put you at, Neil? How many is
3?
That? 3?
I've got 3. Paul's got 2. You've got 1.
I've got 1. All right. I'm bringing it next week.
Okay, right. Well, that's it. It's definitely time to wrap up. So I'm going to say, I'm not going to say Paul's lines, because Paul's lines are Paul's lines.
Well, let's go real quick and talk about what we got going on this week.
That's what I was about to say. Flair.
Oh, gotcha.
Let everybody know what you've got going this week.
All right, over on twitch.tv/gaming embers, we will probably, I think tomorrow, we're gonna get back to probably some more Yakuza, do some pinky cutting action.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens, we're in a new section, and I think it's chapter 3 now. A new character is being played as right now, and the dude has not snapped yet. In later games in the series, he snaps and goes bonkers. He is not yet. Other than that, like I mentioned, I'm working on recording Final Fantasy VII Remake for YouTube, and that's going to be fun as well.
And Thaddeus, what are you up to?
I just recorded today a list of top contenders, top actors who could play a live action Thrawn in the upcoming Star Wars Rebels, like the thing that's been like rumored.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to say, most of them are British.
Yeah, it's either, as far as I'm concerned, it either has to be Jason Isaacs or Peter Serafinowicz, who actually did the voice of Maul in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm not going to give away my choices.
I'll go watch and drag you through the comments if I disagree.
I'm sure you will. I'm waiting for the rage. I will be posting. I'm working on it tonight. It should be ready tomorrow morning. So
Nice.
So as far as I'm concerned, obviously, please come back tomorrow for the 70th episode, I think, of the Escape Pod cast. Paul's been saving his voice like a good boy. That's why he didn't do the show. He's been saving his voice so that he can do the show tomorrow, because obviously it's 2 hours, and then obviously we've got the after show. So we'll be doing that. And I'll be doing some work on the other show that Flair and me are going through.
About a game that we cannot talk about right now.
Rio Zero FE is a new follower. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, so tune in tomorrow for the Escape Pod cast. Paul has told me he's going to go Steven Crowder on me. So I don't know what that means, but it's going to be interesting to see what that means.
Okay, then.
So
he's going to try to sell you a mug.
Yeah, he's going to try. he's either going to try to sell me a mug, or he's going to light up a cigar.
It's going to be even better if it's a mug with your face on it.
Yeah.
Free to play tiers.
Yeah. So we shall see. But apart from that, I'm going to say goodbye. And Flair, Nerdy, say cheerio.
Adios.
See you guys.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Somebody tell me to push the button.
Neil, push the button.
Thank you very much.
Push the button. Paul, Nev, push the button.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.